morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm glad you can join me this morning. Let me see if I can tilt this camera down just a little bit. There we go. Get more of me and less of that ceiling. How about that, huh? Yeah. Maybe tilt it right. There we go. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the weekend. Happy Saturday. Yes, it is happy because it's Saturday. It's a happy Saturday. Let me get this just straight and just right. There we go. And as a matter of fact, let's turn on this light. I have it on the ring light. Yes, I've been very busy with artificial intelligence. I almost lost my installation of Stable Diffusion. There's a glitch or a common bug that happens, and I had to do a lot of reading and a lot of tweaking in the program. I had to do a lot of tweaking in Stable Diffusion. I actually had to do a little bit of coding in order to get it to work right again. It was really challenging. But I got it to work right again. And that's the good thing. And since then, I have been training what is called a Hypernetwork. Okay, now, there we go. There's the light. Now, what is a Hypernetwork? A Hypernetwork is how you can put your face into your artificial intelligence images that you create in Stable Diffusion or in any other program. In fact, let me open up another window capture and see if I can't get a good explanation for you so that we are on the same page, so that you understand what it is that I'm talking about. In fact, I would like to show you Stable Diffusion, if I may. Let's see. That's interesting. All right, so we're going to transition over to the window. Actually, I'm trying to get a window capture here, and it doesn't seem to want to show Stable Diffusion. That's very interesting. It doesn't seem to want to show my Stable Diffusion window. I don't know why. But it does show. Let's see. Maybe I can sneak into it through another window. Maybe if I put YouTube on and then come back here. Close this. Discard the changes, window capture, and let's see. There we go. Alright, and now I come back to the browser. A little bit of patience, please. I just want to get this together. My computer is of course acting a little slow because I am training, as you can see here. Let me transfer over for you guys. Perhaps I'd have to shrink this just a little bit and move it over right there. All right, here you go. Now, you can see that it's generating images every 10 steps. while it trains my Hypernetwork. It's been training all night. I've been training since yesterday evening, yesterday afternoon, no, yesterday evening. And I let it train all night, and it's finally starting to look like me. This is what it was looking like before. Let's see. All right. Now we're gonna go through some of these images. This is kind of funny because I did a few tricks. In order to train images into a hyper network, images that you can use, right, to train a hyper network. You have to get many pictures. Like, you want to train your face into Stable Diffusion. You have to get a lot of pictures of yourself. All of these pictures have to be of the dimension of 512 by 512. 512 pixels by 512 pixels. And you put them all inside of one folder. But first you have to process them with a process called Deep Boru. That is where the Stable Diffusion artificial intelligence application tries to interpret in words what a picture means. So I created a directory. When you create a directory, let me see if I can get another window capture here, and I can show you what I did. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, look at these are the images that are being created right now, and I just want to show you how they started off not looking like me at all. Right. Let's go all the way to the top here. Computer's going to be acting slow because I've got a lot of things going right now. I'm using AI. AI is very resource intensive, right? Especially the image programs. They're very resource intensive, so it's using up all of my RAM, all of my GPU, and all of my video processing capability right now. But I just want to scroll up. Look at how long it's taking to respond. In fact, it's probably affecting my AI. But you can see all of these pictures look like me, or kind of like me, right? And these are the ones from this morning. And if I go up to yesterday, before I went to bed, none of the images look like this. None of the images look like me. So it takes a long time to train. And the images that I have, that I'm training it with, you have to train it with at least 10 images, 10 to 12 images. That should be enough. But I'm using 1,052 images because I've done some acting and some modeling. I've got some headshots, and I have a lot of pictures. I have a lot of photographs. I've taken a lot of photographs over the years, and I've kept a relatively young appearance, so I haven't changed much over the years. So I fed all of these images in. So with all of these images, plus the amount of processing that it takes to get the data, get the visual data, right, from my face, how my face is constructed, right, what my complexion looks like under different lighting conditions and different photographs and everything. That takes a lot. It takes a lot, trust me. It takes a lot of resources. It takes a very powerful computer, a very powerful graphics card. I have 8 cores. I have 4 quad core processors. So I have a powerful box here, a water-cooled box. But look, you can still see how choppy it is as I try to scroll up, right? But I just wanted to show you guys, look at, as I go higher in this 1,771 images, it still looks like me here. This is about halfway through. It's about 7,000. It was about at image 5,000 that it actually started to look like me. I mean, we're going to scroll up to the top so you can see. See, first it's just like some dude, right? Some dude doesn't even much look like me. You know, I think when they were interpreting Devin Lockett, they thought maybe Devin Hester or one of the Locketts that play in the NFL. There are many Locketts, many of us playing in the NFL. Shout out to the Locketts that play NFL football. And but you know, not a bad looking dude. It's just not me, right? Look at the little baby picture and stuff, right? The process of scanning the data in, the process of burning the data into the network, the Hypernetwork, is a process of basically rendering different images. It's like image to image, or like instruct pick to pick, right? Pick to pick, and you can see it. It starts looking at me, looking like me a little bit more, right? A little bit more as you go along. 2,120. This is about 10 p.m. last night, right? When the images started to look a little bit more like me, and a less just like some light-skinned dude. You know what I mean? Some light-skinned dude. So now you can see it's starting to come up a little bit more. You know, I woke up at midnight and I'm looking at it around here and I'm thinking, man, I don't know these guys, man. This isn't me. You know, then you can see, you know, it starts to kind of come around 3,400. Starts kind of looking a little bit more like me. 3,690, right? But it's just interesting to see, right? All of these pictures. And let me move this over a little bit so maybe y'all can see a little bit more. All right, let's go back here because you guys weren't seeing what I was showing you. All right, so if you look here in the beginning, right, you get all of these pictures of this dude. And you can tell it's trying to interpret from my pictures, but it has to analyze a lot of data, right? So as you can see here, dude is not really looking too much like me, right? As time goes on, and let me see, maybe I can get a little bit more of this into the picture. Yeah, get a little bit more for you there. There we go. In fact, let me check out the way I look online right quick, because I think I have to adjust my background as well. But as you can see, the process takes a long time. Oh, Uncle Walter. Happy birthday, Uncle Walter. Uncle Walter. Walter Evans is 93 years old. Happy birthday, Uncle Walter. Shout out. And shout out to little Walter, Walter Fred, and all of my cousins. I love you guys. So, yeah, my frame is kind of messed up. Let me straighten my frame as well. So, but as you can see here, it takes a little bit to get your hits together. Let's see here. Excuse me, guys. It's kind of hard. You got to have patience with me because OBS Studio takes up a lot of resources. Just to show you this video, just to broadcast this video to you. And the artificial intelligence, stable diffusion, is taking a lot of resources just to burn my. There we go. That should look a little bit better. So yeah, it's taking a lot of resources just to burn my my thing here. Yeah, I didn't realize that my frame was so out of format. You have to forgive me. There we go. Yeah, this is really crazy. How about that? All right. So, as you can see, back to what I was saying, as the evening progressed, as the night progressed, needless to say, every time I got up to go to the bathroom or to see anything or to do anything, I came out to my office and checked out the progress. And it takes a long time. It really does. But it is going through, and you can see it. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to fix my formatting and my frame as time goes by, but this is good enough for this video. Because like I said, this is a very resource intensive process, and as I mess with it, the more I do to try to mess with it, the more it's taxing my computer. And so it's going to get to the point eventually that the computer is going to be overtaxed and it's going to shut down. And I don't want that to happen while I'm burning my my image, burning my face into this. So I'm just going to scroll through this. We'll fix the framing later on when I don't have so many things happening with the computer. But what I'm really trying to show you here is how the Hypernetwork starts to reflect my face after a while. Now, I know I'm training it with too much images. That's probably what's causing my system to be on the verge of crashing right now. I know I'm training it with too many images. 1,000 images is a lot. 1,056. Oh, by the way, a pro tip. Always train with an even number of images if you don't want it to get stuck, okay? Because it can get stuck. Now, let's scroll down. We're going to keep scrolling down. I want you to just watch this, right? See, this guy is starting to look like LL Cool J a little bit, right? Right? And that's 2,000, 2,600, 2,800, 2,900, 3,000. 3,000 is starting to resemble me just a little bit. You can see that 3570 image right there. It's starting to resemble me just a little bit. 3910, right? You can see right there, 3910. I kind of has my jawline a little bit. 3920, a little bit of musculature. All right. But it's not till we get down to about, see right there, 4370. That one looks a little bit more like me. But then there's still a lot of faces that don't, right? So this is about 2 o'clock in the morning. It's still burning. It's still burning. It's still burning. Still reading. Okay. And now you can see 50, 60 right there. It's starting to look like me, right? 50, 60 on the left side of your screen. And, you know, this is about 3 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning. I got up and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's actually starting to learn who I am, right? AI is starting to learn who Devin Lockett is. And it's not perfect. There's still some goofy images that come up. But as you can see, it's starting to look more like me. 5970, 6160. You know, it's got my smile a little bit. It's got the muscles going on. Actually, that 6160 is not too bad. But I just wanted to share it. And you can see the process, right? You can see the process. Look at how you see it's training and training and training and training. And from every image, it gets a little bit more data, a little bit more visual information, a little bit more visual information. And since all of the pictures are pictures of me, and all of the pictures were taken within a 10-year span or so, or maybe even a 5-year span or so, they pretty much look like me. I mean, it's picking up, now maybe it would have taken less time to train if I would use, no, not maybe, definitely. It would have taken less time to train if I would have used fewer images. I'm going to give you that. But I would rather feed it a ton of images so that when it's finally trained, it has me. It knows me from every angle and from everywhere that I can be depicted and captured. And I like some of these images. I mean, some of them look kind of nice. Some of them are complimentary, Some of them flatter me, to be perfectly honest. And I don't mind that, right? But this is how you train a hypernetwork, right? You can train an embed, and you can train a hypernetwork. And with this information, you can use that information to give yourself or to create yourself custom AI images. Those of you who know me know that I've been messing around with this AI stuff pretty much since the beginning. And little by little, piece by piece, I'm learning to become a pretty decent AI whisperer. I'm learning to become pretty good at writing the prompts that give us the images that we want out of artificial intelligence. And now that I am putting my own face, look at that. Look at how much it looks like me now. So here we are, right? 10,390 images later. 10,000 scans later, right? Look at how much it looks like me now. Okay? This is the folder. This is the folder that was creating an image every 10 steps. So, yeah, that's why there are 1,771 images in this folder. But now you see, as time goes on, it will train and train and train. And the longer you allow it to train, the more it will memorize you, the more it will memorize your image, and now your image is in. So now I take the code that references this file, okay, because that's what this is. It's a data file. Now these data files are not that big, all right? They're really not. Hypernetwork data files are text files, and they use a lot of characters beside the alphanumeric characters, and so it communicates a lot of data. That's why I don't mind letting it burn and letting it scan and letting it learn all night, because in the end the file is really not going to be that big. And then once you have the hypernetwork file, you reference it in your prompts in text to image and image to image. And so it already knows what Devin Lockett looks like. Another tip, another pro tip, another cheat, a crack that I did is in these deep Boru, which are text files that give you the prompts that go along with these images. When I did it for all of these images, it naturally interpreted it, the subject of the image, as a man, right? A man with a t-shirt on, a man in an athletic suit, a man in a suit and tie. Of course, it didn't know who I am. So I use another software program called Mass Replace It, and that I usually use when I'm web editing, when I'm editing websites. And with Mass Replace It, Mass Replace It does a find and replace, just like on Microsoft Word, but it does it throughout an entire directory. So if you want to change Devin to Sam or whatever, Devin to Bob or Joe or whatever. In every file that's inside a certain folder, you can do that with this software. I usually use it for web editing so that I can do coding adjustments on web page on entire directories of web pages, right? All at once. Anyway, I use that software to change a man, the word a man, to Devin Lockett in all of the descriptions. So while I'm training my Hypernetwork, I'm also training Stable Diffusion, my local instance of Stable Diffusion. It's important to have a local instance, to have it installed locally on your computer. If you use Stable Diffusion or any other image generating artificial intelligence application that's available online, then you're going to be subject to the scrutiny and the censorship of whoever is publishing and producing that online. But if you have a local instance of Stable Diffusion, you can do stuff like this, right? You can burn and compile your own hypernetworks, train your own hypernetworks, and use your images, make like really good custom images. And of course, like anything else, the longer you allow it to train, the better it's going to train. You can see here, I'm at the bottom, and it's showing you like some pretty decent images. They look kind of like me. They really do. If I say so myself, they look kind of like me. So I'm impressed. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. And I'm going to get offline now because I know that my computer is being really taxed right now. I know that my computer is being taxed with this program, and so I can't broadcast video. I really shouldn't broadcast video and try to burn or train my Hypernetwork with my face at the same time. But I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad that you guys get a chance to see this. I don't share enough AI stuff with you guys. Let me see if I can get my... Oops. Yeah, this thing is jamming up. Anyway, there we go. Let's transition back. Yeah, so anyway, I'm glad you guys could join me. I really appreciate it. Sitting here messing with artificial intelligence. I should be training. I trained a couple of days this week, but I'm waiting for Rudy to come by so we can go and check the mail, and I can pay my crew. Anyway, I want you guys to stay kind, because you know that kind is the only sexy. It's not only the new sexy. I want you to stay blessed. I want you to stay healthy. And I want you to keep messing around with artificial intelligence, right? Anyway, have a wonderful day. No, Abu, I'm not going to answer right now. Take care.